Wonder Woman number 17, written by Greg Rucka and art by Liam Sharp. This was a good issue. I liked this more than the last. When I say the last, I mean the last.
Issue of this
The
arc.
Truth, yes. The last
Yeah.
present day issue.
I would agree with that.
Which I liked that issue, but this one I thought was a lot more emotionally vested. I also think it was. There was a good bit with Diana at the start in the mental hospital, and she's talking to the snake again. But I liked that it mostly kept away from her. It wasn't about her this issue. It was about the others.
No, but I really liked her tea party with the snake.
Oh yeah, that was
Great.
crazy and adorable, and it was another one of those crazy layout pages that you sometimes get. But the main gist of this issue though is that so we ended the last one. Steve and Etta found Ferdinand. And they're basically getting him into help, and he's kind of reluctantly going along with it. And so far, by the way, I like Ferdinand. He's
pretty cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's hard to complain. It's nice that we actually got his name in this issue.
Yeah, and he's complaining. He's like, I don't know if I wanted you to come find me. And like, as they're being shot with a minigun, he's like, maybe you could have just left me out of this.
I think I love that he's just got the umbrella up. Like, it's not even raining; it's just to hide him.
Yeah.
I just like it's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And meanwhile, obviously, Barbara Ann went off to Veronica Cale to try and talk her out of doing whatever she's doing. Stop this evil plot. They're my friends, so on. And it all kind of boils down to like her forces get Etta, Steve, and Ferdinand covered. They've got the minigun, and they've got them basically they can't move. They've got them trapped.
Yeah, they're basically gonna die.
Yeah, they're as good as dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to do this because we need to get to Wonder Woman. We need to get a demigod. We need to get to Themyscira. And Barbara Ann, in a very touching moment, offers herself up. It's like, no, I'll do it. I'll take this serum and I'll become Cheetah again. If you
Do you know
save
what?
them.
It's earlier in the series than I expected that.
It is, yeah. I expected it to happen eventually, but not now.
Not yet, which has me a little concerned. Maybe Rucka's got planned, like he's got an end in mind sooner than we thought.
Maybe, but I mean, even if he finishes this arc in the Godwatch arc, and that's him done.
Still like 25 issues.
Yeah, I mean that's still a pretty decent little.
It's not
run.
bad. It's just I'd like
I
a
don't
solid
know,
50 from him.
It may just mean that he's got more
Other
planned.
plans, yeah.
Or
Could
it could mean that Cheetah will become a permanent ally, but as Cheetah, not as Barbara Ann.
Well, it could be.
Because obviously she mentions this is not under the control of Urska Targa. This is completely free of that, but with still the same power set. And
That's true. That is true.
so,
And I love how her becoming Cheetah is running parallel to Diana rediscovering herself. It's like almost like it's saying that Cheetah is who she is.
yeah. Because obviously the end issue, cutting between that and also Ferdinand with the others going into the hospital to find Diana. It's like Diana sees Ferdinand, and it's like the final click, the final.
It's when she touches the lasso.
Yeah. And she looks at him and says, well, I can't remember what she says. She says
She
something.
says, "Hello, old friend."
Yeah, that's it. It lets you know that she's bigger. I really like this issue. I think the emotional stuff that those last like 5 pages or whatever it was of those two things happening, especially Cheetah being in pain and becoming the Cheetah again, was extremely affecting. And they've done such a good job over the last couple of arcs of making me care about her, and both pre-Cheetah and both like this redemption that she's had in present day.
Yeah.
And it feels that she's just got this back. She's just got her life kind of back in a sense, and she's giving it up to save her friends. It feels really touching, but you also get the sense that it's a really tragic story, and it all kind of hits you. But it counters nicely with the stuff with Ferdinand and Steve, where their banter's pretty good. Like they're like almost like a buddy cop movie. The two of them talking to each other.
And I like that it sets up that they know each other pretty well. We don't have to worry about that. We'll just get their relationship from context.
Oh yeah,
like you were just saying there.
Yeah. So, no, I think this was another really, really strong issue of Wonder Woman. It's been kind of mostly on fire. I think the first issue of this arc was good, but some of the Asylum stuff was.
Yeah.
Like, it was very inventive in what it was doing with the fancy layouts and the talking snakes, but it maybe took up so much of the issue that it didn't feel like the plot moved that much.
I think it'll read fine in trade.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I agree that it was maybe not the most effective individual issue.
Yeah. So, and maybe this hunt for Themyscira is coming up, because we also briefly see the Amazons on Themyscira, and Hippolyta is like almost about giving up hope, And who's the one that chops down the tree? Like the tree we've seen several times.
Oh, I can't remember now.
I can't remember, but she's like, no, I don't lose hope, Queen, and she like chops the tree down, and it's just
it's the older woman, isn't it?
Yeah, just it feels very focused. I mean, it's funny because I thought the Rebirth issue at the start of Rebirth was very unfocused. It felt meaningless, and I still think that. Like, I think that's the weakest issue of the entire run, is that Rebirth issue, and then it properly starts at issue 1. But I feel like the entire series has been very focused around several key things. It's about Themyscira, it's about our relationship with Barbara Ann, and that's kind of it. That's what the whole thing's about.
Yeah, and not just her relationship with Barbara Ann, her relationship to it's kind of Diana's relationship to Themyscira and Diana's relationship to the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. To broaden it out, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I would be interested in rereading that Rebirth issue now and seeing if, now that we kind of know what the themes of this run are and how it's playing, if it reads better.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't excuse it at the time, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it just kind of felt jumbled. Didn't feel like it had
but I'm just wondering if now that we have a firmer grasp on this series, if it plays into that a bit better.
Yeah, possibly. But obviously the art was really good as well again. Liam Sharp.
I feel like it's not even worth mentioning anymore, because Sharp just kills
is.
it every single issue. I love that stuff on Themyscira at the start, just because his art looks fantastic for that stuff.
I think the Cheetah transformation is probably my standout stuff from this one.
Yeah, and I love just about the cover highlights that, because it is just that Cheetah transformation on a plain white background as well, so it really just lets you know, focus in on it.
Yeah. So there was a little tease in that scene actually about her dogs. Remember we were talking about how all those twins and the past arc maybe with the dogs, and she's like, they're older than you think. I think it was the line. I was like, okay. A nice little teasing across between the arcs, which is pretty cool.
So what did Matt think?
What did Matt think? That's a good question. I was about to move on.
I noticed you were, which is why I thought I'd better jump in, otherwise Matt may not be happy.
Holy shit, this issue ratchets it up. Tragic swing with Barbara Ann ended up the Cheetah again. That issue where we saw her origin was just the best.
He's not even here and he still has to mention it.
That doesn't even follow on from what he just said. Diana's conversation with the snake was entertaining and terrifying. Interesting seeing the actual Amazons again. Art was fantastic. Sharp's layouts are beautiful. There you go. That's Matt's thoughts on Wonder Woman.
Kind of pretty much sums up what we said.